Good afternoon, Aggies. Aggie Pride. All right, here we go. Now we're ready. The North Carolina A&T, hopefully you are able to recover from the greatest homecoming on earth last week. Unfortunately, A&T came away with a 42-32 loss to Townsend. But this week we head up to Rhode Island for the first time to take on the Rhode Island Rams starting at 1 p.m. Our special guest that we have with us here today is our running back, Kenji Christian, 140 yards and 3 touchdowns on Saturday. Good for him. We also have our outstanding freshman defensive end, Joshua Isaiah. But before we talk to them, hey, all right, good job, yes. But before we talk to them and before we talk to Coach, as you may have heard, we lost a very dedicated and true Aggie on Friday night. Spent 50 years as the play-by-play man for North Carolina A&T football. As far as I'm concerned, he is A&T radio. And so before we bring up Coach Brown, if we could just have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Now, I should mention that his name is, of course, the great Spencer Gwynn. Coach, come on up.
What a beautiful day it is in Aggie land. I want to start off by sharing our sincere gratitude for your unwavering support. It is extremely challenging for our players, for our coaches, and our staff to be where we are record-wise this season. No one would have ever imagined we'd be sitting here at 1-8. I share with our guys that it's about the process all the time. And my message to the team after Saturday's loss was some lessons are best learned through the school of hard knocks. And it becomes very challenging in that moment, but we all understand that in spite of the loss, there's always something to learn from. There's something positive to build on. And there are a lot of positive things that happened on Saturday, despite the fact that we didn't come away with the win. On Friday night, we had Brad Holmes, who's a Aggie football alum and current general manager of the Detroit Lions, speak to the team. And he spoke to our guys about a couple of different things, but one in particular was grit. Having grit, the resolve to see something through, to fight through. And I hope the way our guys played on Saturday, you saw a team that has grit. One that, in spite of the different challenges that occurred throughout the course of the game, that kept fighting, that kept clawing. And those traits and characteristics will pay deep dividends for us down the road, this week and leading into our last game. We've spent a lot of time over the last couple of weeks working to try to find ways to get the ball into the hands of our best playmakers. And I hope you've seen with the production of Kenji, who's here today, on Saturday and last week, that those plans are coming together. I hope everyone understands this is a young team. This is a young team, true freshmen, redshirt freshmen, and we've played a lot of young guys. That's no excuse. It's our job to win the game. I understand that. But there's a lot of really positive things that are happening with our program. I'm proud of our guys' effort, the way we compete. We're not looking at the record. We don't look at the scoreboard. It's all about competing to the very, very end. And you will see a team that will continue to compete to the very end everybody's going to get our best effort. And just know everything that we're doing is about building a program that will not only be competitive in the CAA, but that will win in this conference. And I have no doubt in my mind that the things that we're doing, we're going to get there. So with that, I'll open the floor for any questions.
Coach, a bunch of season highs across the board. I'd have to count how many from Mr. Holloway's report, but in terms of the offense, in terms of what you saw, what were the biggest key factors in terms of having that explosion Saturday?
Yeah, I think for the first time all season, we really stayed on schedule throughout the game. First game of the season in which we led the opponent in first downs, in time of possession, in total yards. And so a lot of that had to do with the effort of our players, buying into the plan. Some of it had to do with what we were doing schematically, finding ways to get our players the ball in space, to create explosive play runs and passes. And it's only going to get better. We're going on the road to play a very, very good Rhode Island team. We know it's going to be challenging. They have the number 2 passing offense in the CAA. They have a very talented running back. They got a big offensive line. They do a lot of things defensively to try to create problems. But you'll see our guys go up and compete and give our very best. And we're going up to win the football game.
Coach, to see that positive side of the ball, to see what you got at the offense on Saturday, what does that do for the mindset of the offense that's had some challenges this year, but finally see it all come together and see the fruits of it?
Yeah, it provides encouragement. It provides momentum, not just for the offense, but for the defense also. So Saturday, defensively, we weren't as good as we have been in the red zone. And it's hard to win if you can't keep them from scoring touchdowns when they get down there. But our offense kept answering the call. They score, we score. And I truly felt like until they scored the last touchdown, that had we had the ball last, we would march the ball down the field to score the winning touchdown.
I know this week you saw some good play out of your quarterbacks. I know a couple of them down with injuries. Would you be open to sharing, the injury status of your quarterbacks and kind of what the situation is with that one?
Yeah, so we fully expect both guys to be ready for the game. Kevin has a lower leg injury, nothing significant. He saw the doctors today. We'll know, if he's going to miss any time this week, later today. Eli, he'll be fine. So we expect both guys to be available, but we'll know for certain about Kevin later today or tomorrow.
You never want to lose guys to injuries, but to see Eli come in and see that continue to go and flow in the offense, how positive, what was that do for you to see that?
It's very encouraging. And, I share with our guys all the time, I've been there where you want to play. They all want to play. They all want to play a lot. It's up to the coaches to make the decisions as to who's going to play and who gives us the best chance to win in our eyes. And we tell our guys just to be ready. When your moment comes, when your number is called, be ready. So throughout the course of practice, you may not get every team rep, but you should be locked in getting the mental reps so you know exactly what's going on each and every play. So should you have to step in, you have an opportunity to be successful. I read this morning where Joshua Dobbs, who's the quarterback, just traded to the Minnesota Vikings. Literally just traded to the Vikings. And I had a chance to recruit Josh when he was coming out of high school. Stepped in with very limited practice, literally just studied the playbook for a few hours and went in and led them to a victory. So a lot of it is about your mental preparation and your attitude towards being prepared when your number is called.
Coach, in terms of Rhode Island, it appears a pretty balanced attack. How would you describe the scheme that they run over with Rhode Island?
Yeah, well, right now they're throwing the football extremely well. Kasim Hill is one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. He's big. He's got a great arm. He's got good athleticism. He can extend plays with his feet. They have a couple of big receivers that can go up and high point the ball. They have a couple of talented running backs. So when you look at their overall production, they look balanced, but how they're producing points is through their passing game. It was amazing the number of people here. I've been to homecomings over the years, but this was a sight to behold. I see why it's called the greatest homecoming on earth. Trying to leave Brian after the game was a challenge, but I hope, in spite of the fact that we didn't come away with the win, that everyone who came here saw a team that has no quit, that we're gonna fight to the very end, and it's gonna get better. There's no doubt in my mind.
We'll have coming up to the microphone Kenji Christian. He is the first A&T Aggie to rush for 3 touchdowns in a game in 4 years. Jermaine Martin was the last guy to do that, so congratulations to him. Career high 140 yards out of Birmingham, Alabama, Pinson Valley. And when he comes to the podium, the floor is up for questions.
Brian, you said it. You added your name to some history here. RBU running back university. Man, what that mean for you to have?
I mean, it feels good. I didn't really know that until just now. So, it feels good just to hear that.
In terms of the offense Saturday, a big day for the offense, were there signs, anything you saw from the guys, either in preparation or leading up to the game, that kind of told you, hey, this is a different group, you kind of feel something different with the offense this week?
I really see that every week, though, with us just making the progress that we do, like during practice and stuff, leading up to the games. I really see that, like, the progress every week. Okay.
Speaking of that progress, how do you guys feel on what you got from Saturday to make this week?
It really just hitting the ground running and, like, doing what our coaches want us to do to prepare to win the game on the weekend.
The big feat, the 3 touchdowns. The running back for Rhode Island, he became the first to score 4 touchdowns. I think in a while, I think he was maybe the 5th in Rhode Island history to ever do it. What are your thoughts, on the 2 running backs, colliding forces on Saturday?
Like, with our running backs or theirs?
Yours versus theirs,
I always feel like we're gonna be the better backs. So it's like, that's all. Like, I haven't really watched them yet. So yes.
Thank you, Kenji. Appreciate it. Great job. Next, we're going to bring up our defensive end, Joshua Isaiah. He was all over the field on Saturday. You may have saw him in number 2 instead of 3, his usual number. But he was the guy making all the stops out of Charlotte, North Carolina, Independence High School, Mr. Joshua Isaiah.
Leading into this game, I know oftentimes you guys don't have your film sessions yet, but what are your first impressions heading into this Rhode Island?
My first impression is always the O-line. In the CA, there's a bunch of size on the O-line, and everybody's physical, so that's what stands out to me. Yeah.
Joshua, where do you think the defense is heading into the game?
we definitely have some room for improvement, but we got our heads up high. We feel like we let the team down on Saturday, but we still encouraged to go out there, fight, hold them to less points as we can.
It appears that Rhode Island pretty effective both on third downs and fourth downs statistically. In terms of the breakdown, in terms of what you've seen, I mean, is there any kind of tendencies, any kind of looks that you're seeing in terms of what they do on conversions?
I haven't really brought down the film yet, but the key is to really first watch for the hard count on third and fourth downs, so you don't give them an easy one, and then just bone up your necks and staying strong. It's the big key.
All right, Aggies, we got a lunch for you there in the back, so feel free to go ahead and get in line. And we'll set up for our radio show. Thank you.